to another video. So today we're back here for another speed build, and today we're going to go ahead and create this one called Hilltop Mansion. So if you want to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up on the gallery now. My origin ID is Real Thomas TV1, and there will be a link in the description to the online gallery if that's an easier way for you to download this build. And yeah, so as you can see, we are in Del Sol Valley on the 64x64 lot, I believe it is. Now I actually built this back in November last year, so if you saw the Montera modern build that I did last week, I think it was, I did mention how I did do that build back in November, and there were actually a few others like I mentioned, which is this one here, and I've also got another mansion as well I think that I did back in November. And you're probably wondering why on earth am I sharing builds from November now? Well, I did actually go ahead and get a new PC back in December, and I didn't really kind of have the chance to go through all my files and kind of transfer them over to my new PC. I just kind of brought over the necessities like my intro and outro and things like that. But there were actually some other builds that I'd fully furnished and edited and thumbnails done and everything just sitting on my desktop, which I somehow missed. So the other day I was sorting out my PC and I noticed them and I was like, oh my god, I have like 2 mansions and another speed build already done. So I was like, okay, well I might as well upload them, even though they're kind of a little bit irrelevant now, doing like a Get Famous themed build now, but you know what, it's another build, so here we are with it. And yeah, so I can't really remember that much about it, to be honest, because like I said, I did it quite a long time ago, and I'm kind of just have to familiarize myself with it as we go through the video here. So I've literally, this video was fully rendered and I'd done the voiceover for it as well, but I couldn't actually find the video files for it. So I literally, what you're seeing here is actually the rendered video with the voiceover on it. I've just muted the voiceover, so I'm kind of just, you know, the screenshots and everything are already edited and rendered in this video, so I'm kind of just going to have to work myself around it, I suppose, because you would have seen like the little subscribe and notification bell thing at the start. Now I don't actually have that on my new PC, the file for that, so you wouldn't have heard the notification for it, like the actual sound. Anyway, I'm rambling. So as you can see, it is on like a hill. I mean, already it's kind of on a hill anyway in Del Sol Valley here, but I kind of put it on a little bit of terrain as well. Now this was back when I just started using terrain tools. I wasn't really familiar with them. I just didn't really think I was that good with them either, so I wasn't that great at this point, so it's not really that extraordinary or anything, so it's nothing really that kind of special, but it is on a little bit of a hill, and you can also see that kind of little extension out to the side there with the glass roof. Now that's actually, if I remember correctly, an indoor pool, because I don't really do that many of them, and I remember back when I did this I was getting a few requests to do some kind of like things that were a little bit out of my comfort zone, such as like indoor gardens and pools and stuff like that, so that's what we're doing in this build here. So that's there, and there's also this little guest house thing here. Now I don't really remember what I did with this. The last couple of times I've done builds recently, I've actually made this into the study, because I feel like it's something that I've seen a lot in real life, where people kind of do sort of build like modern sheds in their back gardens and stuff, and actually make that into like a study room. So that's sometimes what I've been doing recently, just to kind of switch things up. And then that right there is the garage. I think, yeah, it is the garage. So like normal, that is changed into the gym, and then I just go ahead and put a little kind of driveway area there to park the cars on, and also as well the thumbnail is actually flipped the other way around, so I don't know if this has been fixed or not, but there isn't actually any point of the day in Del Sol Valley where the sun shines on the front of the lot here, so. And it's the same with all the lots in the pinnacles, which is really frustrating. So for the thumbnail I did actually have to rotate the lot all the way around, so it's kind of like the front of the lot is like hanging off the cliff edge, which looks really odd, but hopefully you didn't really notice that. And yeah, so we're just going around now doing a little bit of the garden area. So we've got like this nice big pool there, also got a gazebo with like an outdoor seating area, and also a little pond there too. I normally put those in quite a lot in my builds recently, but normally just in the front garden area, where there's normally like a little bit of extra space, and just instead of filling it up with another flower bed, just kind of putting a pond area sort of thing, like a fountain in. But I don't normally put them in the backyard areas actually, I don't know why, but for this build we did do that today. Also as well, I didn't mention, but you may hear a slightly different sort of quality thing in the audio today, because normally what actually happens, well, first, I'm all over the place. Well, I'll kind of go back to the beginning. So I did actually have this boom stand for my mic, and basically it just attaches to the shelf above my desk, and I kind of just push it out the way when I'm not recording, and then I kind of pull it down here to do the voiceover. Now I did actually have I've had 2 of them by the same company, but actually like the thread on the screw thing that actually attached my microphone to came loose, and it was like all the thread had like disintegrated really. I don't really know the word for it. So literally my microphone was just balanced balancing on the little attachment for the boom stand, so I had to get a new one. But the things with this new one, there's something wrong with kind of the hinge on it, and it doesn't actually support the weight of the mic. So when I've got it pushed up against the weight, I have to put this paper clip in between the kind of metal bars to keep it upright. It's really frustrating. And also as well, when I've got it pulled down on my desk, the arm of the pop filter is just slightly touching the desk, and you can sometimes hear the vibrations from the actual PC tower. So it sometimes has been affecting the kind of quality of the audio in the last couple of videos, well, for the last couple of months actually. But I actually swapped it around and I managed to get it work now, so my microphone isn't actually touching my desk. So I'm hoping that the audio quality from now on is a little bit better, because it used to be, and then it kind of got worse with this problem I had. So I'm hoping now it's back to normal. And also, just in case you're wondering, I do get a few questions about this now and again, but I do actually use a Blue Yeti. I've had this for probably around 7 years. I'd used it a lot before I even had this channel as well, and it's never really failed me actually, and it's really kind of inexpensive compared to some other ones you can get, and I just think it's really great. So if you're looking for kind of a new microphone to get, or even if you're just starting out, then because this is the only microphone I've ever had, it works brilliantly, so it's something to consider. And yeah, so also another thing, kind of got loads to talk about today. Another thing is that later on today, now I'm not really too sure when this is going up. I think it's the 10th of March, which is actually my dad's birthday, but we call this on the 9th. Later on today, there should be a bonus video going up at midnight UK time. I'm not too sure when that is in Pacific time. I'm not too sure, but in midnight UK time today, there will be a bonus video going up. Hopefully, I'm not promising anything, but hopefully, I've got the video recorded of something very special. So I'm not going to kind of, you know, ruin the idea, because it's an embargoed video as well, so I can't really say anything about it. But you may have seen something on Twitter the other day which was kind of exciting, and it's something a little bit different than I've done on this channel before, so you'll be seeing that later today, hopefully, so stick around for that. I can't really say anything about it at the minute, but you know, I kind of want to leave a little bit of it as a surprise as well, but you can stay tuned for that at midnight UK time. Anyway, so we're just working on the house here. I haven't really been looking at the playback screen, so I'm not really too sure what we've kind of been doing here. Also as well, I'm not actually seeing any lag at the minute, but if you do see a little bit of lag during this video, I'm really sorry. But like I said, this is on my old PC that I recorded this on, which was not very good towards the end of its lifetime with recording. It was very laggy, as you've probably seen if you've been around with my channel for a while. So, you know, there might be a little bit of lag here and there, but as I'm doing this voiceover, I haven't really noticed anything that bad. So, you know, there might be little, what's the word of it? Like little peaks of lag. I don't really know what the word is that I'm trying to find here. Little points in the video where there'll be little bit of lag, and sometimes it might not be. And yeah, so you can see as well that we are using the kind of Get Famous windows and doors, which I actually haven't really done that often since we've had Get Famous, so it's actually kind of nice to remember what those look like, because it's not really like my normal style of windows and doors I would choose. So to actually see them again here, because I haven't used them in months really, since November, then we've got this pack, so it's kind of nice to see those again. And it's just because a lot of my builds are very kind of traditional, suburban, so having those type of windows there, which are a little bit more glamorous looking, don't really fit that well with my normal types of speed builds, and that's really the only reason I haven't used them. But you know, I do actually think I have one more video going up, because like I said, I do have another mansion that I've recorded back in November, which I've got to upload. And that one again is in Del Sol Valley, but I don't think I actually used, no, I don't think I used Get Famous windows in that. I think it was a mix of Seasons and the Vintage Glamour windows, and I know that sounds a little bit of an odd sort of combination, but they did actually work quite well together. I'm actually just going to check the thumbnail of that video, because I'm not actually too sure if it was that. So let's see, yeah, Get Famous, oh, it's actually a mix of Get Famous, Vintage Glamour, I think it is. Is it Vintage? No, it's not Vintage Glamour. It's like, I don't even know what pack this particular window is from, but also Seasons as well. I can't work out what that pack is. It might be Get to Work, I can't really remember, but anyway, I'm rambling. You'll see that next week, hopefully. And yeah, so we're just working on one of the bathrooms. As you can see here, it's literally just exactly the same as all my other bathrooms. That's why I don't really show a lot of them in my builds. There was a point where I didn't even show any bathrooms at all, because they were literally exactly the same in every single one of my speed builds. But now what I tend to do is just show one of them, and then I kind of cut out this, like, the footage of the rest of them, because it's, you know, they're all the same. And yeah, so we're just working on another bedroom here. Now, again, like I've said, I'm not really too sure which one is the master, which one's which really. I'm kind of a little bit all over the place with this build, because I haven't really seen it in like all those months. So I'm kind of just can't speak, I'm talking too fast. I'm just trying to familiarise myself as we go here, so you're seeing what I'm seeing, and I haven't really seen it in a long time. Also as well, I kind of just saw a glimpse there of the roof glitch that we had back in November. So you may remember when you're kind of taking screenshots in tab mode and stuff, where you can see the roof and the ceilings, they were actually got that horrible like dark tone to them. Well, this was actually recorded when we still had that glitch, so at the end of the video when you see the screenshots, you may still see a little bit of that glitch, so hopefully it's not too bad, but I'm really glad that's been fixed. There are a few other things that I'm really hoping get fixed soon. For example, there's two actually that I'm kind of get a little bit frustrated with sometimes. One of them being the disappearing train paints glitch, which I know a few people have had. I actually haven't been that badly affected by it, but just until recently I have though, and it's really frustrating. Like, so you'd be building a house, you've done all the train paint and stuff, and I've noticed it really only happens when I kind of close my game, so say if I do it over 2 days or something and I come back to it the next day, or even what actually happened earlier today when I was building something else was that I just went back to manage worlds for a second, and then because I had to add some more money into the household funds, so I had to kind of go back into live mode and actually do that, because you can't really do it from the build mode on manage worlds, so I had to go out of manage worlds and back into kind of play mode, live mode, live mode, whatever you call it. And all the train paint had gone within a few seconds, which was so frustrating, because especially when it's something that's very intricate and just got lots of detail into it, it's really frustrating because you've got to do that all again. So sometimes it's good when that sort of thing happens, like, because you can kind of improve it, but at the same time it is still very frustrating, so I'm hoping that gets fixed. And the other one as well is actually where you have like an octagonal roof, and see if it's like on the second floor, not like the roof of the entire house, but say if it's just on the second floor, it'll kind of like, you'll see it in the rooms, which is really frustrating, and it'll kind of not clip out, if that makes sense. I don't know what the word is, but yeah, there's another annoying glitch with that, so I'm hoping those two things get fixed. I know a lot of people have had those as well, so I'm really hoping that they get fixed because they are very frustrating. And yeah, so we're just working on another bedroom here. As you can see, this one's a little bit more on the kind of glamorous side, as it has a very fancy wallpaper, and it also has that very fancy bed there as well, which I don't actually really use anymore. Actually, I think I used it last week, was it? I can't remember which one it was. I did a build, I'm actually going to check because it's going to really frustrate me now if I can't think what it is. But I uploaded it the other day, and I actually used that bed, not in that particular colour swatch, but with all the kind of get famous items, with all that fancy stuff. And I just cannot think what it is. Oh, I think it was the Strangerville Villa. Yeah, it was. I'm looking at the picture of it now on Instagram. So the Strangerville Villa that I did was the last time I think I can remember that I used that very fancy bed in the chairs, the armchairs from Get Famous. So again, because like I was saying earlier, it doesn't really fit my build style, so after I did all those Get Famous videos, I kind of just really stopped using the items, but there are the odd occasion where it'll kind of fit something nice, so that's what I did. And yeah, so now we're working on another kind of room. Again, I kind of go all over the place. If you're new to my channel and you don't know, recently I have been just trying to switch up the order that I do everything in my speed builds, just to keep things a little bit more interesting, both for you to watch and also for me while building it, so I'm not doing the same thing over and over again. So I believe this room is kind of just like the dining room, so as you can see, it's got a big grand piano and a big dining table, and also a little bar area there as well. I love doing that with houses that have the space for it, is having like a big bar, well, that isn't really a big bar area, but have like a big dining table, and also having the piano there, because I feel like if it's a very fancy house like this, or even just a big house that's have like dinner parties and stuff, it's always a really nice addition, I think. So I'm glad I managed to include that. And also as well, back in that dining room that we just finished working on, you may have actually seen those cats and dogs archways. Now, I think I mentioned this somewhere, I think it was on Twitter the other day, I said something about this, but I really hope one day that we can get those updated, because those archways from from cats and dogs, they're actually only the medium and tall wall height, I think you can get those in, but they are really nice and have really nice colour swatches that kind of work with a lot of things, but I always build with short wall heights, so I never really have the opportunity to use them, so I really hope those get updated one day, because I feel like in terms of archways in short wall heights, we're very kind of just like limited on them. I've never really have good options with them really. It's normally just the Jungle Adventure ones and also one of the base game ones, but I really want some new 3-tile archways, because sometimes there are, you can see them here as well in the this room here. They are really nice to kind of open the space up, but when you have like not a lot of choice, it's really frustrating sometimes. And yes, so also this rug here that I'm using here, like the 4-tile one, I've never used that before. I think this is the first and only time I've used that rug. So I don't know what, I think I've just forgotten about it really, but I might actually use it again, because especially for big rooms like this, and just for something a little bit different as well, I might go ahead and use that. But anyway, we're at the end of the build here. I really hope you enjoyed. I'm going to leave you with the screenshots in just a second. Let me know about what you thought of this. If you have any more suggestions for builds or any ideas of mansions you have next, that'd be really helpful to hear. Leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't. You can go ahead and download this from the gallery. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.